Okay, I hope this turns out well. This is the Phase 2 MCU discussion. If there's background noise, I apologize because I think there is some. You can see me, of course. You can also see newcomer Tomas. Hello, Thomas.
Yes.
Returning from Phase 1, the discussion, is Muji. You still can't see him, but you can hear him, so there's that.
Hello.
So, without further ado, I suppose just go ahead and get started. Anybody who actually watches this, because this might get some views, feel free to leave your own thoughts in the comments on any of these movies. We're going to be going through all the Phase 2, and we'll just keep it at that. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So, Phase 2 starts out with Iron Man 3. So I will say that the first thing I'll say is that my grading for this movie was a solid B. I thought that the weak link to it was the villain, because he was garbage, Killian. I didn't like him at all. He was really dumb. His motivation was really dumb. And he doesn't really add anything to the movie, really, to me. Like, to me, the highlight of the movie was everything aside from the main villain. Iron Man, his PTSD and all that. And even the kid, even though I'm pretty sure you'll never see him again, talking to the kid about some of his issues. That was the highlight of it to me. And although action scenes not directly involving the Killian guy, like on the plane and whatnot, I thought were also equally cool. And him being able, the advances in his Iron Man suit technology and all that was all really great. So I gave it a B for that reason. Any thoughts?
When I first saw Iron Man 3, I didn't love it. I think I agreed with you that my biggest issue, to be honest, was Adrian Killian. He wasn't very interesting to me. I thought the twist with the Mandarin was pretty good. I really enjoyed that. But at the time, I couldn't really appreciate what they did with, like, the whole PTSD thing. Like, Tony Stark having an actual arc, an interesting arc in the story. I couldn't really appreciate that at the time when it came out. It came out when I was, like, 13, to be fair, though. Yeah. But upon, like, reflection, I think, like, I used to like Iron Man 2 better, and upon revisiting them now, I think Iron Man 3 is actually a really, really good movie in general, even aside from being a superhero movie. There's some stupid stuff that I don't like, but I really like a good majority of, like, him not being in the suit. And a person, kind of like him being more personable to an extent, as personal as a Tony Stark can be. I really appreciated that upon, like, reflection.
Upon further review,
I think I would give it a B or something around there.
Okay.
It's definitely one of the better MCU films.
Before we go any further, actually, I should have stated this already. At this point, I'll say it front, the latest movie I've seen is Spider-Man Homecoming. We won't be talking about that, though, in this video at least. Whereas Thomas and Muji have both seen everything, and they know everything. But, like I said, though, we're only going to be talking about Phase 2 stuff, so we're not going to be getting, like, they're not going to talk about the fact that all the Avengers die in Infinity War. I don't know, but yeah, so just so that's clear. It'd be a bitch if all the Avengers actually died in Infinity War now. Because now people will be like, they didn't tell you shit. No. I mean, if they do, they do. I mean, I don't know, but that'd be wild.
I'll do my best not to spoil anything. I don't want to, like...
Just stick to Phase 2 and you'll be fine.
They have a orgy at the end.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I don't know what website that was on. I don't recall that.
It's the good website.
Disney Plus, dude.
I don't know if it was on Disney Plus.
That's what I'm using, except for Spider-Man, because they don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was a limited series, dude.
Yeah. Just right before Loki, they dropped that.
Yeah.
All right, so Muji, what are your thoughts on Iron? We already talked about this once, but so we're doing it. What are your thoughts on Iron Man 3?
So, I liked Iron Man 3. I think it's the best Iron Man to me. I think most people dislike it because they expected the Mandarin and it wasn't given. And I don't care about that. Like, I wish the Mandarin was there and the villain sucked. But the Tony stuff, his arc, his character development, and all of that,
God damn it.
just and all the suits and stuff, just made it better for me. Like, I think it just character-wise, that movie was really good, and I enjoyed the action. It's not the best, but to me, it's the best Iron Man movie. And I really enjoyed all parts of it. Now, as for do you want to talk about the stuff you didn't like about the movie? I have some stuff written down, and you do too. So we can discuss that too.
Sure. Another thing too. If we want to discuss any sort of like trivia or anything like that, feel free to do that too. Let me go to my MCU thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. So like for the last several movies, I straight up don't have any notes on them because I've been forgetting to take them. So let's see. What's the latest movie I have any thoughts on? Okay, well, oh god. Oh no, okay. So for Phase 2, I actually did. I remembered, but starting Phase 3, the only one I have any notes on is Civil War. Starting.
It won't be.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So starting Civil War. Whenever we do the Phase 3 one, after Civil War, I don't have any notes on any other movie because I've been forgetting. So for Iron Man 3 though, okay. By the way, for any potential viewers, Muji and I did already do our own discussion for Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World only. So we're kind of so me and Muji ourselves are kind of rehashing some things, but we don't mind. Or at least I don't mind. But once we get to Winter Soldier, it's all fresh, even for that. And I will be giving my own specific. I'll be mentioning what my grades are, just so people know. C is basically average. B means I like it. D means I don't like it. F means it's garbage. A means it's excellent. Let's see.
Out of curiosity, can you I wasn't there for it. Can you run down, what did you give Iron Man and Iron Man 2 as a grade, if you recall?
Yeah, I'll just give all of them up to Phase 2. So, Iron Man 1, C. Incredible Hulk, D. Iron Man 2, C minus. Thor, B. Captain America 1, yeah, you knew. Captain America 1, C minus. Avengers 1, C+, and then Phase 1 as a whole, C.
Wow, I'm kind of shocked. Ever to be put to film, you gave a B. Man, really?
Yeah, Muji was shocked too.
What about, I'm sorry, I don't want to rehash Phase 1. I have to know. What about remotely appealing to you?
Yeah,
So the family stuff and then like Loki. That's like that was a part of it.
Sure.
But
But he was entertaining in the Avengers. Did you give that a C minus or a C plus?
C plus for Avengers 1. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to rehash Phase 1.
Yeah, so
But so personally, Iron Man 1 is not only, in my opinion, one of the better movies in general in the MCU, but it's definitely my favorite out of Iron Man, all the Iron Man trilogy. I think Iron Man 2 is easily the weakest. My problems with Iron Man 3, Muji mentioned that the biggest reason people don't like it is because of the Mandarin thing. I don't know if that's why people don't like it. So, like I said, when I was younger, I couldn't really appreciate the little nuance in the character building for it. But I think a big portion of it also was, at least for the rest of Phase 2, where you see Iron Man, which is really only Age of Ultron, which I'm sure I'm gonna rehash this same argument for Age of Ultron. The character arc goes somewhere and is kind of thrown away. So at the end of
Yep, I noticed that. I noticed it. I wasn't going to mention it yet, but I noticed that. I was actually going to mention that.
Twice. They do it twice. Iron Man stops being Iron Man twice in Phase 2. To an extent. You can argue, obviously, he didn't, but, like, to an extent, he stops doing it twice. And then he's back for Age of Ultron after Iron Man 3. And then he's back for Captain America Civil War after Age of Ultron, which we're not talking about, but it's like the movies didn't have the proper direction. And, like, I really like what Iron Man 3 did.
Joss Whedon.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit right into... It doesn't fit cleanly into the MCU to an extent. It doesn't service anything in the MCU, in my opinion, besides, like, you know, kind of extending Iron Man's arc to an extent to, like, you know, relate more to the character or whatever. But it doesn't do anything in the long-term terms. But, you know, for what it is, I like what it is. But I still think Iron Man 1 has just such this big impact. I think the villain, although a little boring, still, I think it's better than Killian. I thought Killian was kind of way lame.
Killian's
really lame.
Garbage.
I wasn't feeling it, and like really the only interesting parts were when Tony had to like be not Iron Man for a bit. That was really cool, and I like watching that. But a decent amount of negatives. The kid, those scenes were weird. They didn't really make any sense. He walks in, he's like, "Who are you?" But he knew who Iron Man was. But then, like, he said, "Oh, you're Tony Stark, but you're dead," to the rest of the world. But then he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then he's like, "Tony the Mechanic," or whatever. I don't know. It was really weird, strange. That whole, like, the kid, I didn't love it. I don't know. That movie feels out of place for an MCU film. It's good as a solo film, doesn't fit in the MCU. So I think I understand why it doesn't work for everyone. And I'm sure there are people that didn't like it because of the twist, but
I disagree with that because I think it fits perfectly in because it helps him deal with the trauma of Avengers 1, right? And it prepares him to face for Thanos, which pushes him to create Ultron. In my head, that's how I see it.
At the end, he like blew up all his suits.
Okay, that part.
Being Iron.
Well, okay.
That's what
Here's what I noticed on a rewatch. He says that he wants a clean slate. So I'm assuming. So I saw that.
She points at his heart, and he's like, "Yeah, no more this or whatever."
See, that's Joss Whedon's problem, and that's not what I'm going to defend. I don't think
Fuck
that's
Joss
Iron
Whedon.
Man's fault. I think that's Avengers 2's fault.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily blaming Iron Man 3 for it. What I'm saying is, like, I understand that might be a reason why people don't like it. And I'm not holding that against the movie. I'm just saying because of what it is, it doesn't fit because of what it is. Even though it was retroactively undone by a future movie, it now doesn't fit. It just doesn't. I
still think his motivations matter, and it still leads him to create Ultron.
Sure.
What were you saying, Flitch?
Oh, I was just going to say, first off, before I say this, caution, this video will contain strong language, and here we go. Fuck Joss Whedon. I don't like him as a director. At least when it comes to MCU, I think he's a terrible director, in all honesty. I don't like him. So I'm glad that for the other Avengers movies, which I haven't seen, by the way, I'm glad the Russo brothers do it.
He's alright. Like, he's not good, but he's not, like, bad.
I like Avengers and I like Age of Ultron. I'm not going to lie.
You like those? Oh.
I think, listen, Avengers 1, the writing isn't strong. However, it does, like, it feels like the most comic booky movie in Phase 1, and I really enjoy it for that. You get superheroes fighting each other and then teaming up to fight the bad guy. They're not weird about it. Like, the acting isn't bad.
It's not.
Some of the writing is a little off, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. Is it mind-bendingly, whoa, that's crazy? No, it's not one of those type of movies. I don't think it's just as mature as Iron Man. When I think of Iron Man, I really think it is honestly a good movie by itself. out of the superhero genre. But for what Avengers is, I think it's a good superhero film. I have fun watching it. Definitely more fun than Thor, but and I feel honestly the same about Avengers 2 or Age of Ultron, which I don't want to skip things, so but
Which
we should probably go.
Another thing I'll say, actually I have more to say about Iron Man 3 about the other notes, but before I say that, one thing I will mention, because you mentioned the comic books, I have not read any Marvel comic books, and honestly I never intend to, so just so it's out there, I'm rating these movies only based on their own merit. Right. That's me personally. Okay. So first off, now these are talking points that Muji and I already went over. So one was who can use the Iron Man suit? That's a note that I wrote for myself because it seemed kind of weird, because sometimes like Tony would put this suit on Pepper at one point and whatnot, and like Rhodey could use his own suit. But Muji already went over that, so he can go over it, or I can just go over it. Doesn't matter. But we cleared that up, and it's that's how Tony programmed it after Obadiah Stane stole the one suit. He reprogrammed them all. And the only reason why Pepper had one is because she wasn't commanding it. He was, but it was on her. And then I have another note called dog tags. I don't know what the hell I meant by dog tags. It's all I wrote, so I'm just gonna skip it. I wrote dog tags as a note with no context. So
there's a couple dog tags in the movie.
Oh no, I like there are dog tags in the movie, but like what about them? I don't even know, and I wrote the fucking note. So like, I don't know. Like I don't know. What about the dog tags? I need to sometimes be more explicit with these notes. Another one. Actually, I don't remember Muji's explanation for this. Another one. So. When Tony first goes into that one, like restaurant type place and meets that lady that, quite frankly, she looks like a cocaine addict. But like she has that like notes on the table, and he's looking at them. And then before that one lady with the powers comes into the room, like when she goes in there, they slide it under that like counter, and then the building is blown the fuck up, and then that's it. So like one of the questions I had was, what's the deal with that note? Like, to my knowledge, it was never brought up again. Or like, was there any significance to that?
Yes, there is significance to that note. That had to do with so the lady that was sitting down, that case file was on her son, who had, I want to say, PT. Had what?
It's the guy
blown up because of the on that one video.
But these are all. I think for the most part, a lot of these people that were blowing up were military people with PTSD, which was kind of the theme. I think you have the bad guys with PTSD, and then you had Tony with PTSD. But I'm pretty sure what I remember is, and it's been a while since I've seen this film, probably at least a year. But the female, her son was the case file, and her son had some sort of PTSD, and basically the case file was on that first initial explosion, because I think he was the first test subject that like blew up during Killian's experiments or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. I don't exactly recall. I recall the scene, but I think that's what the significance of that little file was to show kind of like who these people blowing up are, like what type of people they are, and a lot of them are people in like desperate need. I don't remember what Killian offered them, but maybe like salvation or like a purpose. I don't remember what it was exactly, but all of these people were very troubled individuals, and that's who the bad guys were.
He offered them regeneration.
Right. Oh yeah, some of them were handicapped and things like that. Yeah.
Next one, the next note that I wrote was that I thought it was weird that the kid just goes and talks to Tony like after he like just kind of almost like trespassed into like the garage or whatever it was, like he just met him. So that's what I wrote in one of my notes. Like I decided, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, and then like and one part that I especially thought was weird, like when I first watched it, was the part when Tony gets in the car and the kid's like, can I go with you, or I don't know, some shit like that, and then Tony's like, nah, and I think I cut this from the reaction. Actually, it's probably in the extended version, because I technically have two versions of that. It's probably the extended version, if not the regular one, and I'm like, wouldn't that be like what? Like that would be like kidnapping. Like I don't know. I thought it was weird that the kid like wanted to go with him. I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Father figure.
I mean, he's a superhero. He's not gonna kidnap him. He knows he's.
I know that, but no, that was my thought process. I was just like, what the hell?
Well, you know, if Batman showed up at my door, I'm not gonna be like, "You weirdo, stay away from me, Daddy, help me," or something like that. It's Batman. What's he gonna do?
So, here's another note I have, and this isn't a question. This is more like a statement, but it was the fact that the president in that movie is going to get fucked politically because of his vice president being an asshole, like being like in league with the villains. That was just a thought that occurred to me. So,
but it was the vice president did everything. Yeah.
So what?
The vice president was trying to kill the president.
Yeah. How would the president get in trouble for that?
Oh yeah, why would the president be fucked over?
That's his cabinet.
So?
This cabinet tried to kill him. Everyone's gonna have empathy for him.
Oh, well, maybe.
And no one's gonna be like, you hired someone who's gonna kill you? Clearly you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's like, you know,
like that. I don't know.
Like if your wife stabs you and everyone blames you for surviving.
Some people would blame you, to be fair. No, I get your point, though.
Go ahead.
There's one more. Oh yeah. So one thing. This is like one thing. So when Rhodey goes into the church or whatever the hell it was, and he's like shaking hands with the person, and then they disable his suit, and they're like, you know, the only way you're gonna get me out of this suit is, you know, over my dead body, and they're like, that's the plan, and then they didn't kill him. So I like when I first watched it, I was kind of expecting him to die, and then just nothing.
I like Rhodey. I think it would have been a weird death.
Yeah, it would have been. And that's my last note on Iron Man 3.
I saw that as a threat, like, you know, give me your money or I'm gonna rob you type of thing.
Yeah,
like,
it was saying he was.
Yeah. It's not like saying like, hey, I am gonna kill you and this is a fact. Like, it's a threat, like, you know, get out or I'm gonna cook you alive.
I think he was saying he was gonna kill him. He said he literally said that plan is to kill you. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, but like, you know, I didn't think his goal was to, like, you know, kill him per se. It was more of a threat than, like, you know, like, because he could have killed him right afterwards.
I don't think it matters.
It does, and that was a little note that I just wrote. So that's all my notes on Iron Man 3. So unless anybody else has anything,
I have more notes.
You do? Okay, well there we go.
So it's been a while, and I discussed it already, so I don't remember it anymore. But I wrote you saying something about Pepper being a bad girlfriend. Do you remember that?
The part when it would probably be the part when she gets upset with Tony because he got upset that she was like getting a little bit personal with Killian and him like kissing her on the cheek and shit. Like, who the fuck wouldn't get jealous from that? And then, like, you know, it was like that sort of thing.
What?
I didn't say she was a bad girlfriend. I said that she was kind of like not in the right place to be upset at him for being upset with her about that.
I can't make too much of a comment on that because I honestly barely remember the interactions. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I barely remember the.
I just don't remember the comment.
That's fair.
And then there's something about you wanting Pepper to die.
Well, okay, okay. I don't want to.
I think. What I'm hoping you mean is when she fell, you were expecting her to.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
You watching the movie, and you're like, this bitch better die.
Yeah, that thought was never crossed. It was, I think, Thomas. I think it like, because I was halfway expecting her to die. I was expecting her to die for like 30 seconds after that fall, but then I'm not gonna lie, I remember this is a Disney movie, and I was like, oh wait, she's not gonna die. It's a Disney movie.
But she also has superpowers now.
Yeah, that too.
Was it a Disney movie back then? When did Marvel get bought out?
Always. It's always been a Disney movie. Marvel's been bought out for a long time.
Not for Iron Man 1, I don't think.
Well, we're talking about Iron Man 3. To be fair.
Anyway, last note is, Pepper one-shotting Killian at the end with the gauntlet. You remember that?
Oh, so no. So my complaint about that wasn't her one-shotting him. My complaint about that was that, like, so every single one of these people, when they get blown up, they die. Killian gets blown up, and then he's miraculously still alive for no reason. And then, then Pepper comes out, and then she kills him. Like, my complaint was that to make it consistent, and in my kind of thought process, bullshit / contrived, would be to just have, like, either don't have Killian blow up and have Pepper do it, or have Killian blow up and die, because that felt inconsistent to me.
Here's the thing. All the other people blew up because of the experiment. Killian blew up from the Iron Man suit. And he survived that because of the regeneration. And she was able to one-shot him because he's, like, almost blown up already. And there's not much left of him. So the difference here being all the other people died by blowing up because... the extremist thing was they like heat up to 4,000 degrees or something, and they blew up from the inside, versus this was an external thing, and there was nothing wrong with Killian's like genetics here, and that thing regenerates too. It's not a long shot, and he has powers.
Hold up, wait, one counterpoint though, So like take the one woman at the restaurant though, like the restaurant blew up and then she blew up with it. But so even if you say that the restaurant isn't what killed her, that she blew up from the inside, let's say with the restaurant explosion as a catalyst, wouldn't that technically mean though that Killian's explosion from the Iron Man thing would have catalysted him into blowing up?
She didn't die by the explosion from the restaurant. She died by Tony's repulsor ray. She survived the blast.
Did she? I don't remember that. I'm already.
Yeah, I'd be able to.
And I just watched it like 2 months ago.
And Muji's probably right about that.
Thor: The Dark World. Okay.
I literally have the movies in front of me, trying to coming. I'm like trying to like keep my references down. And I messed up.
Yeah. Don't reference. Don't you can reference up to Homecoming.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Bad times.
Okay, but by the way, since I wasn't recording it right there, so I'll just I might just cut this out. I don't know. Thomas was about to say something about Ant-Man 2, but I stopped him, so that's why we're mentioning it. Yeah, he was about to say something about Ant-Man 2, and I'm like, hold up. Okay, so this movie. My grading for this was initially an F, but I gave it a D-. Actually, so here's why. I haven't mentioned this yet. My perfect score, the highest rating for me is an A+. I don't do the S tier shit. One thing to get an A+ is I have to have no major issues with the movie whatsoever. Conversely, in order to get an F, the movie, or whatever it is I'm grading, has to have no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Well, the thing about it having a D- instead of an F is that I think that the ending part with Loki and Thor, their like little sort of team up at the end, was a redeeming quality. So automatically the movie can't get an F, so I gave it a D-. But that's like still not good. Quite frankly, how many have I watched at this point? I probably watched 20 something MCU movies at this point. I don't even know. I don't keep track. It is the only one that I almost regret having watched. I legitimately feel like I wasted my fucking time watching it. And I never have any desire to ever watch it again. Alan Taylor is a shit director, at least for that movie. Even when I watched it, so the movie does something really weird that most movies don't do. This is something more akin to novels, is that it does a lot of telling and not a lot of showing. Thor 1 did this to some degree, where it had a little bit of opening narration, but the opening narration only set up like a little battle in the beginning, and then the rest of the movie was fine.
Cringy. Oh.
But this one though, Dark World, there were like there was a lot of like telling and not showing, and first off, that made the movie infinitely more boring than it should have. But there was major like shit that was all just with telling, and I'm like, what the fuck? And there was, and like what was I point was I at? I'm not gonna lie, there were a few times where I straight up like used the mouse or the touchpad, whatever you want to call it, just to see how much movie time I had left in the movie because I was that fucking bored. I'm not gonna lie. And I remember it had like 58 minutes left, I think, or something like that, or I don't know. And there were already plot points that I was like, wait, what was that again? Because like I had to go back and it was all fucked up. But a big problem was telling, not showing. The villain was garbage. I didn't like him whatsoever. I honestly wish, just the way the movie looked in general, I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe it was the camera work. The way the movie looked in general was not appealing to me, which is really ironic considering the next movie. I couldn't hear that, Thomas. What?
The color was very like monochromatic, I believe is the term.
It was not appealing.
Shakespearean.
It was literally two colors. There was gray and red the entire.
Nah, dude. I saw yellow.
I did not like the way the movie even looked. The one redeeming factor was the Loki and Thor thing, like I said. That's the only part of it that was even worth a fuck.
I didn't think I would agree with you, but I think, yeah, the ending to that is pretty, it hits you in the feels a little bit. So I think I'll agree with you there.
Oh, Guardians 1 hit me in the feels if you've seen that reaction. If you haven't seen that reaction...
Guardians, that's a movie I like a
Wait,
lot.
Did you see that one yet or no? That reaction? The reaction. My reaction. No? Oh, I recommend watching that one. That one... It's also uncensored. But, so... I kind of wish that the Ether Infinity Stone, or the Reality Infinity Stone, I think it was what it's called, like, isn't even in that movie. That way I could just skip it. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. It's basically garbage. What are some notes that I have on this?
The main bad guy is Doctor Who for season 1. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think I should mention that one. I'm not going to mention that one. So one thing I had a problem with. Well, I don't know how much a problem this is, but so in the beginning, Odin sentences Loki to 5,000 years, like in prison or whatever it was. And my first thought was, dude, like you guys, like how long do you guys live for? Like thousands of years itself. Like you know how much of a deceptive cocksucker this guy is. Why in the world would you just, I don't know, like, it bothered me that they would just put him in prison instead of just executing him, because, like, 5,000 years, you think he's not going to escape in, like, less than half a year? Which he does! He does, technically, I mean, they used it, granted, Thor is the reason why this happens, but he uses their problem to his advantage to get out anyway. And how long does this movie take place? Like a week, probably? It's not smart.
That's their son.
I hate defending this movie, but he's the counter. Loki is their son. He's not just a random kid. They're not gonna murder him or like.
Well, it wouldn't be murder. It would be justice.
Whatever.
But yeah.
They're gonna give him the best treatment, that they can, because he is their kid and they are king and in charge of everything. Like. It's gonna be in his favor regardless. I'm pretty sure they don't want to banish their own kid, and they live a long time, so I don't think 5,000 years would be like that big of a deal for them.
Well, but it's still a long time though, regardless if it's for them. My point though was that he has plenty of time to make a plan and escape from jail, which he does.
Yeah,
I do get your point though.
He didn't escape on his own, to be fair.
I mentioned that, but
yeah, but
But after 5,000 years, he could have found a way anyway. I don't know. The way my argument part of it was like the logical part of it. But honestly, I think Muji's argument is better because that's like the pathos argument for it, and the pathos is what would happen. So I'm on board with Muji's thing. So I'm on board with it.
All right. Go ahead.
So my next one, and this is actually my last one for this one, is that, so I said that a lot of the enemies and even allies feel tacked on. I as in like they're kind of like just there to be there.
Well, that's not good writing, is it?
Yeah, well that I think that's just because
I'm
of
not
the
gonna defend
writing.
that. It's a bad movie.
Yeah.
If
Well, I
you-
don't know what you mean by that. Like the
like, do you?
enemies?
I remember they're fighting people. I don't know why they were fighting. It's been a long
Okay,
time.
so by feeling tacked on, Thomas, what I mean is that like
Well, I know what you mean by tacked on, but who are you referring to?
Yeah.
The villain or like just random bad guys? Because then you could say that about any movie.
That's
like
true.
they're just background characters. Like you don't need.
no, okay, so like
So who are you speaking to? Speaking of,
Speaking
so
to me.
so like guys like who was I speaking of? Honestly, I don't even remember anymore. Like this movie.
I don't care. The movie's bad.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it.
Right. I don't know, but
Fuck it. I'll just assume I'm right.
You know what I remember? That rock monster that Thor destroys.
Oh, the one that where he when it's the thing that's attacking Loki.
the scene I remember the most, like,
Is the ending. I like the
when
ending.
kids are dropping shit in the portal, because I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to play Portal 2 right now instead of
God.
literally the only thing I remember. Oh, and fucking Stonehenge, the naked guy, that pissed me off. I don't know why. That made me so mad.
Oh,
Forgot
Professor? Yeah.
Yeah, like what the what the what?
You can say fuck.
What was he doing? What the fuck was I watching? Like, it didn't even. There was no significance after that. He went to Stonehenge. He didn't finish his plan, and then I don't know. I don't like that he got stupid after the Tesseract took over.
I don't think he got stupid because he
He got-
discovered the whole thing. He acted crazy.
Why was he naked?
You know, the movie called for it.
The movie called for him to be naked because the movie.
Yes.
Next movie.
Okay. All right. Let me go and stop this recording.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
So
okay.
There's stuff to talk.
I haven't stopped it yet, so go ahead.
There is notes from before.
All right. But before we go on to that, Thomas, you don't need to watch your language in this video. You're good. Okay,
Alright,
now Muji continue.
So I've already explained it. So one of the notes is that you said something about you not knowing if they're immortal or not in mythology.
Oh,
compared to here.
yeah.
Yeah. So just to say it.
You reiterate it. Yeah.
Yes. In mythology, gods are immortal, as in they won't die by natural causes, but they are killable. But in the MCU, they have a long lifespan.
They're more like aliens that we perceive,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not like
okay.
like
just
in the Thor
Thor
movies.
people, the
are-
Thor people are specifically aliens. That are seen as gods by older humans. That's why there's stories and stuff about them.
Right.
Now another point was that. Hold up. So another point was that she blew up. So when she gets the ether first, she blew up randomly when being touched, but she didn't blow up when.
Okay.
Yeah, and she didn't blow up when being touched by Thor.
I left that in. Oh, I thought I took that out. But go ahead.
So I saw that as, the stone just being weirdly reactive. Like, I think it was just like exploding randomly. I don't really have.
So I'll give you the reason for it. Bad writing. That's my explanation.
I forgot. I think I had a better
I
reason
just
for
stopped caring when the movie started.
it. Yeah, it
Movie
wasn't.
stopped caring about telling a story. I stopped caring about watching it.
Then it was something about the 100 votes thing. We discussed it. It's part of their culture. Because you were like, "Oh, is this from Game of Thrones or whatever?"
Oh, on the funeral. Okay, no. I just compare it to Game of Thrones. Because that's what they do in that show. Except they don't send out 100 boats; they just send out the one.
Yeah, no, this is what's it called? Nordic culture in general. Like even if you just Nordic people back in the day did it, which is what their gods are based off of, Thor and all of them. So this was just like a high honor thing that these people just do.
I don't know what you're even referring to.
I play a lot of Valhalla, and I see a lot of this. So that's why.
What scene in the movie are you referring to?
When the mother dies, and then they have the funeral, and they send out like 100 different canoes or wherever the hell they are, and then there's a guy that has like a flaming arrow, I believe, and he shoots it, and then it hits the canoe, and it's burning. You don't remember that? Well, that
Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm pretty sure I saw that in episode.
That's dark. That's Dark World. I mean, it might be Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know. I haven't seen that shitty piece of shit live action movie in a long time. Live action movie, Avatar: The Last Airbender. The movie is shit.
The show is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. The movie is what I was referring to when I said shitty piece of shit. Just so you know.
And then another point is, I watched his stuff, dude.
He watches my shit, bro.
Here's the thing: you need to start taking notes for the newer stuff because I won't be able to do that. So.
Yeah, I just been forgetting to. I don't know. I didn't even realize until like just now. Yeah.
Just all you have to write is whatever you don't like about the movie.
And do like or.
Well, you should talk about that too.
Yeah. Or do like.
Write the basic plot down, like, you know
what? Just write an essay.
Write a sentence, like, what's the movie about?
Write an essay has to be indented to this much.
Superhero, like that simple.
Okay. So you were confused why the assistant's assistant. Darcy hired an assistant, even though she's an assistant.
You mean, so Jane Foster's friend's intern?
Yes.
Okay.
Jane Foster's friend is an assistant, and she hired another assistant. Yeah,
yes.
Basically. Yeah, so he randomly gets powers towards the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah, because he picks up a fucking car for, like, no reason. Yeah.
So the reason for that is the movie says that the convergence temporarily while it's going on, and it happens once in, like, a trillion years or whatever the hell they said, it gives you powers randomly to random people.
No, I was laughing just now, just from Thomas's facial expression. He's just like, the only thing missing was drool.
I'm not defending it. I don't think it's good writing, but that's the reason.
No, yeah, that's okay. If that's the convergence thing, okay, like then, first off,
say it in the movie.
Okay, then, do they? Because I don't remember it.
Yes, they do. That's what I remember.
Okay. Here's my thing. Okay, if it's never utilized again in the MCU, I think they should have just left it out.
Well, it was a one-time event.
It was probably a comedy scene, if I had to guess.
It wasn't comedic to me. Yeah, it's really.
It was an action.
Thor 2 isn't. Like a fucking fan film.
Yeah. Okay. Jane Foster's friend. They're dealing with some like alien guys or whoever the fuck they were, robots, whatever. I don't remember who the fuck the enemies were. But he picks up a car and smashes one of these bad guys, and then and makes Jane Foster's friend get wet, basically.
Why did he pick up a car?
Because the convergence gave him powers.
Yeah, but how did he know he could pick up a car?
That's a good point.
He just randomly decided to pick up a car now?
Don't talk to me about that. I'm not defending this. I'm telling you what the movie said. And
fuck this movie.
Last point is important that I do care about.
Okay.
You were mad that Loki was alive.
Not anymore.
Okay, because
not anymore.
In his character.
Yeah, no.
That's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, no, not anymore. So that was an initial impression I had when first watched the movie. Since then, I'd say about starting 2 or 3 days after I watched the movie, which at this point was probably a month ago or however long, I no longer feel that way. So.
Yeah.
It's cool that he in this movie and not in the last time.
Yeah, I'm glad Loki was not dead.
Okay, so I didn't. Go ahead.
I think the only thing I liked about the movie was the ending, because the ending did feel like a twist when like Thor lost his hand and whatever. Like when I first saw it, that's the only
Yes.
good
Well,
thing about
that's the
it.
redeeming part. That's the only reason this movie doesn't have an F on my category. F
Yeah,
as in fuck this movie. But yeah, so like, I was initially upset by it because the scene when Loki. I can't do that. God damn it. By the way, for any viewers, my fingers are fucked up. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but my fingers are fucked up, so I can't like bend them. But so like it was it was like it was the only like powerful moment in that whole fucking movie. And then like when I first watched it to me it felt like they just destroyed it when him being alive again. But then after I thought, because I do think about these movies after I watch them, and then for like 2 or 3 days later, I was like, you know what? Considering Loki's Loki, it makes sense that he would do that. So I got over that, and now I understand it.
now let's move on to Guardians.
So next is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Apparently, Thomas has ice cream, so I hope anybody in the audience doesn't mind somebody eating on screen, because well, he's going to be doing it.
I'll sneak some ice cream in.
So okay, so first off, nobody has any notes on this movie besides me because nobody's seen the reaction yet, but I made it. Muji will see it, but he hasn't seen it yet because to make it brief, I'm having copyright issues with that movie with the Winter Soldier on the reaction. I still am. I don't know. Disney's being weird about this thing. They're not letting me have it go public, even though they did before. I don't get it, but they are letting me share the link. I don't. It might as well be unlisted, I guess. But so let me go ahead and the first thing I'll say about this movie, I will give you the grade, of course. Captain America: The Winter Soldier got a solid A, because that movie is excellent.
But not an A plus.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Captain America: Winter Soldier is not a superhero movie. It is a spy thriller.
Well, that's what I told
No. Okay. He didn't actually. You didn't tell me that before I watched it. You mentioned that after I watched it. Although during it when I watched it, and when you see my reaction, I liken it to being like even like during half the parts, I was like, this is like a James Bond / Jason Bourne movie. Like that. That's what that movie is, and that movie is fucking excellent. Like okay. The choreography, the fighting styles, the camera work. I shit on the camera work for Dark World. The camera work in this movie, fucking excellent. The tension, the build-up, like, oh my god, dude. Okay, like, oh, I'm almost surprised I didn't come in my own pants watching this movie. Like, dude, this shit was good. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than just really fucking good.
Really good movie. It tells a really good story. It has a satisfying beginning, middle, and then it hooks you for an end with the cliffhanger. You just want to watch more. It is
cliffhanger.
Yeah, the
What
cliffhanger.
was the cliffhanger?
To find Bucky at the end.
Oh, right.
He saved. Remember, he saved Captain America at the end, like out of nowhere, almost.
I didn't see it as a cliffhanger. Like I knew.
It was. That was literally the definition. You gotta rewatch the movie. It's so good. It is a fantastic film. Beginning, middle, end. Everything about it's good. The writing's good. The story's good. The characters are great.
Yes.
The best Captain America. He's just really, honestly, I mean, not that there's other Captain Americas that we can really compare it to, but he really works in this movie. And Captain America is not a character in any of the films he's ever in that can develop. He's not. And it works for him specifically because he is the perfect person, but he's not necessarily a Mary Sue, if you guys know what that term means.
Yep.
Because, when he started, he was literally getting picked on. He was a scrawny kid. He wasn't, like, the best at anything, really, but he was determined. And then he was given these powers to be elevated or whatever. So he never really gets character development, in a sense, in any of these movies. Yet, honestly, I like the Captain America trilogy. I think he does well with a character that really can't be too bendable too much, like can't do too much different things. he's not really changing, but I don't know, man. I love this movie. It's a great movie. Easy top 5 Marvel movies in my opinion.
It's
I see
excellent.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I just said it's excellent. So.
Yeah. I see the character development being more about Bucky than Captain America.
Yep.
Right.
That's in fact to me. Okay, so that's one of the things that keeps it from getting an A plus is that like this movie isn't about Captain America. It's about Shield and it's about Bucky. Really.
I disagree. I think it's about his relationship with them.
Right.
It's about them. Like it's about him finding his friend. It's not about Bucky.
I
It's
think
about
it's
him.
Captain
Yeah.
America's faith being shaken up because he is a soldier at heart. He works for the government. One. And then in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, things get complicated. Things then like slowly become more of a conspiracy theory that kind of unwinds, and it his world is that he basically works for what he was fighting in the first movie. So I think it is more of a Captain America film than it is a Winter Soldier film. But I think the Winter Soldier is that character that like is so important in this type of movie that like it can help balance out Captain America, I guess, to an extent.
And to like add to what he said, I think it's more about like him waking up in a different world and like seeing like the world is changing and he stands his beliefs. Like it's more about him standing his ground, standing for his beliefs, and like finding out the right thing to do, which he knows what it is to him, and standing up for it, than it is about like Bucky. Bucky is one of the plot points, but I think it all revolves around like Captain America's perspective of it, not about Bucky's character development.
I'm really glad you enjoyed this movie though, because
I did. This movie's fucking fantastic. It's one of, I'll spoiler alert technically, it's one of only 3 movies to get an A grade from me so far. So.
I think Thomas would agree with the others.
Really.
Should I just tell you which ones they are?
If Ant-Man got an A, I think I might hang up.
So
Ant-Man's good.
So well, they're both in phase 3. I'll tell you that. Both the other ones are in phase 3.
Just tell him, dude.
Okay, I'll just tell you.
I guess you gave Homecoming an A.
And what's the other one?
What's the other one?
What's the other one?
It is Homecoming is my favorite Spider-Man.
No, but what's the other one though? What do you think?
Well, if you're
There's
saying
only one logical answer.
Yeah.
that's not true.
Okay, but like,
what do you think the third A is?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Nope.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Well, that's what I just said.
You said Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes, it's
Either Civil War or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
You had ice cream in your mouth.
Yeah,
I did not have ice cream in my mouth at the time. You just were
the 3 movies, yes. They're this one, the Russo brother movie so far, and then Homecoming. Those got A's for me.
Civil War's good. Yeah, I can see that.
So let's get back on track.
Yeah.
What are their dislikes about the movie?
Right. So one is that I didn't feel like they did enough for Falcon. Like they had like one conversation with him, and then he's like this full blown like superhero with him doing all this shit. I felt like they just didn't do enough for him. Another one.
Wait,
so.
hold on. Are you just saying them all first, or are we discussing?
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's do one by one. So.
I think I agree with you. The way they introduced Falcon, I like it, but then when they jump into it, like, oh, Falcon's basically like light Iron Man. I don't know.
He's not Iron Man. Dude has no repulsors or like.
He can fly though, and he has like all this other shit.
All he could do.
Weird, man. Like he has this suit that helps him fly. Like it's a little
It's
unbelievable.
like a budget, if
Like-
anything.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's my my point. Is he's in like I don't know. He's just kind of like
Don't
a
you
weird.
dare
drunk-
compare it to my Iron Boy.
Don't you dare! Damn.
But anyways, yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's like I didn't love the way they kind of just jump into like, oh, I'm the Falcon, I fly and I do all these things. Like, who are you? Why do you have those wings still? That doesn't make sense to me.
He
I don't
doesn't
remember.
have those. They go get it. Remember
He steals it from where?
the military base? They highlight the plan. They just don't show it.
I think you're right, but like, why?
Well, that's part of my thing though, is that they don't do enough.
I
It's
think
so
it
weird.
was fine.
I think it's a little jarring. But
It
it's
was
not.
a secret military. I wish they showed how they got it. That's the only bad thing about it. But like, I don't think it bothered me.
I love. Oh,
I think it's like a side quest that would have went away from the movie if they did show it.
right.
And I'm glad they didn't.
So another point is that there were some things that got like, I feel like they should have devoted a bit more time to Captain America and Bucky, considering how important the relationship was in this one. Like, because like, they even had some like flashbacks of time. So like Captain America and Bucky from like the World War II era that I felt like should have just been in the first Avenger from the get-go. They did it pretty well with it, but like I don't know, I felt like they could have put more of an emphasis on the relationship because quite frankly, when I first watched the first Avenger and Bucky falls to his death, I was just like, oh, okay. But like I felt like if they were gonna have this thing, you know, like him resurrecting, well not resurrecting, but him coming back and all that, that they should have aimed for a better response on that.
So from what I remember you saying about it a bit ago, you talking about the first Avenger not having more scenes with Bucky. Why should that hold anything against this movie?
Because to me it hurts this movie that the relationship isn't like expounded upon enough already.
I think they do show it in a flashback though, which they make up for it from the first movie.
I think there is enough bonding between them in the first movie.
Same.
That's like the whole beginning of the movie shows how much they look up to it. In fact, I would rather not have those flashback scenes because I didn't really care for the ones. If I remember, one of the flashback scenes in this movie was they were like Captain America lost his house key or something, and Bucky found it under the I don't know. Like, I didn't think that was necessary because I think it was kind of shocking enough that, in the first movie, he has this brother, basically this older brother character. He goes to war and he wants to chase after him to be a war hero with his brother, and then he becomes the war hero and his brother gets lost in the war. Like, I don't know, I thought that was all enough in that movie that when he came back in this movie, I was unfamiliar with the character at the time, so I was shocked. I was like, holy crap, that's the dude from the first movie, that's his best friend, what's going on? Like, I was in there, and I really didn't, I don't think I actually, on my first viewing, and even now, I don't think I need any more interaction from them in the beginning, because I did get that sense of brotherhood. I think they're both amazing, talented actors, and it really felt like they had a good connection in the first movie. I don't even think that that's their second movie. But
You want to start crying? So
The ice cream.
like it sounded to me like you were about to start crying. So okay, so here's another one, and you may or may not agree. This actually touches on a point that Thomas made earlier, that I don't like that Captain America is basically just perfect, and he feels like a goody two shoes guy. Like, there should be some sort of development. Like, I don't know, like I don't like the way they handle Captain America's guy. Like, at least with Iron Man, like they build him up and whatnot. At least in 3 and further movies, with Captain America, he's just flat.
that it's not relatable. But I don't think that's what Captain America is. Like, Captain America in my head isn't the relatable character. Captain America in my head is the superhero. He is literally like the Jesus Christ. He is unbreakable. His spirit is uncrushable. His morals are unbendable. Like, he is the epitome of what a superhero should be. Like, he is the literal, like, caricature of what a hero needs to be. And he has all these values that he doesn't bend or break, and we see that later on in Civil War. I love it. Like, he's not relatable. I can't relate to that. I'm not that at all. But I think it's something I can look up to, and I kind of like that in my superheroes sometimes. You know, not in like any. I don't think it works in any movie. But I think for a superhero movie, it works. Not in any movie. Like, if, like, it's kind of like the James Bond type thing, where, like, James Bond is this perfect character, like, doesn't really change all that much, at least in the movies. Maybe in the books he does. I don't know. But I think it works for a superhero. Like, you don't have to have every superhero like this, but if you have one superhero that all the other people can look up to and strive to be like, I think that guy can be perfect, and you know, I don't need to relate to that story, or I can still the story, regardless of not I relate to the person. I can relate to having troubled friendships or having my faith shaken, you know, from an. I mean, like, I didn't wake up in a Nazi government, but you know, I can relate to some of these stories. Maybe not how he handles it, but maybe I wish I did handle it like a Captain America type. I really like the character, I really do, and I think for a superhero it works well.
Here's my argument for it. Ever since he was recruited, he was like already a good guy. He wanted to fight for the war. He wanted to save like his country, and like the serum made him even better. But not only that, he's always been like advertised before he was like fighting and whatnot. He's always been advertised to like the war people. If you remember, with his like old outfit in First Avenger, as like the perfect American, like the guy you strive for, and like, you know, he is one of the few people that I think the whole point is he's supposed to be one of like the best of us. Will he? That's why he stands to his core. That's why he stands to his beliefs. I think it works well for him because that's his character, and like you can't just change who he is. That's like making Spider-Man, I don't know, dumb instead of smart. Like, that's just his character trait, and I don't think. I think they did well with it, but like to change it, to give him flaws for no reason when he doesn't have any, just for the movie.
Well, that's my whole problem with it, though. Is he doesn't have any flaws or anything. There's no developing. That's my like inherent problem with him.
And I think it's understandable, but like I think I give that pass because he is a superhero. So it's kind of like
and because he's the only one.
Yeah, he's the only one, and because he's a superhero, these are the characteristics you look for in a good superhero. So he is the perfect superhero. This is a fake world, so you know, we get a fake character, but he symbolizes the best in all of us, and it's kind of something you can look up to as an audience member, even if you don't relate during the movies. You're rooting for this guy because you're like, wow. He is perfect, but like you wouldn't do that in other stories because it's not interesting with the character development. But I think it works here. I think the story's written well. It can very easily not be written well, but the story works. You know, I don't have problems with the character. I really don't.
All right. You have one more point?
Oh, I have many. I have notes. Why doesn't Fury have protection from threats when he goes out in public, as being the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
He does have protection. That car protected the hell out of him.
Well, but I mean, he didn't have like his own like escort, like
On
different, like yeah, like he didn't like the president travels around in like a motorcade. I'm not maybe not like that, but like more than one car.
Well, here's the thing: people don't know who Fury is. That's the whole point of him. He's a spy.
I would think that was the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's not followed because he's not a public figure. You don't see Fury on the news. You see him in the back, being.
So he doesn't need it. Oh, and by the way, these notes aren't things that I dislike about the movie. They're purely questions that I had watching it.
It came up in your head. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So so another one is why put the chip thing in the vending machine of all places? Oh, there we go. Yeah, because that chip thing that they had that had the information on the Winter Soldier or whatever it was, he just like puts in the vending machine and then just kind of leaves it there and gets upset when it's gone. So I was just like, why put it in the vending machine?
He did that because he was getting pulled aside by the bad guys who he suspected probably weren't on his side or might not be on his side. It was the older gentleman that used to be friends.
Oh no, I know, but my point was the vending machine in particular. He just like randomly picked that.
It's the first thing he saw. He's like he could have put it under a plant or whatever. He probably thought that's the vending machine safer.
How did he get it in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He's drunk. The door off, dude.
You think he broke it?
Well, I don't know about that.
In front of everybody, he broke it. Walked back after.
He probably asked the vending machine guy.
Hey, can you open this bitch? That way he pushed.
I think it's a silly hiding spot because
Well, yeah.
Like people are gonna see it, no? Like someone goes to the vending.
Well, that was my point. Like somebody wants some Skittles, so they buy Skittles. Like, what the hell was that?
Didn't see it. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was my point, though. Let's see. Okay, so this one's pretty hardcore, but this is just one thought that I had, and this is the last note. Oh, this is like a whole sentence. Hydra manufactures issues, so people will want security instead of freedom, which defeats its own purpose, since without the manufacturing, they'd be secure anyway.
Wait,
Any thoughts on that? Okay.
Summarize.
So, Hydra manufactures issues, so people will want security instead of freedom, but that defeats its own purpose, since without Hydra's manufacturing, they'd be secure anyway. That I don't know. That's not a question. It's just something I wrote in my notes.
Okay.
Hydra doesn't want to keep people secure.
Yeah.
Hydra wants power.
Yep.
Yeah, they're killing people that they think that's a threat, not regular.
I don't know if that's what he was saying.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the hell I mean by this anyway. I just wrote it, so.
Okay.
I think what Hydra is doing makes sense. Hydra wants power. So
No. I know. I understand that. Like, I don't know why I even wrote this, but like, it's there. So, like, maybe my assumption is I misunderstood Hydra's intent when I first watched it or something. Because like I don't understand this note either. But it's like the dog tags. Like, why the fuck did I write this?
Okay, and one more thing that I remember you said about it.
Oh, okay.
You said that Captain America should have been shot in the beginning. Yeah.
So
because he said that
he
had a shield. Shot.
So as far as that goes, here's my guess. So it's sort of, maybe it's a nitpick, maybe it's not, but like, so Captain America has this little shield that like protects like his core, like his torso, and then but no bad guys ever shoot his legs or anything else. Like, they just go for a shield. Like I've even joked about it in some of my reactions that the enemy's bullets have aimbot to go only to his shield, because they only ever hit his shield. So it's like, why the fuck doesn't he ever get shot anywhere else?
So, and you say the same thing about Black Widow. Like, why wasn't she shot? So in the beginning, because like people like they have guns and then they like never use them. Like Black Widow will be like running up to somebody and they just stand there until she kicks them in the head. Here's my reasoning for it.
I don't think there is defending this.
I think it is.
movie.
No,
So you have to,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the
It's not good.
beginning only, not when he's being shot by a fighter jet. He should have died. But in the beginning only, I think he's both him and okay. So specifically him, he was really fast on taking out these guards silently. I don't think they saw it coming.
I'm not talking about one instance. Though. I'm talking about all together, like in the first Avenger, Winter Soldier, all of it.
Yeah.
Like how much bullet fire does he go up against, and nobody ever hits anything besides his shield.
Realistically speaking, you can
Yes,
kill
plot-
Captain America.
like,
yes,
you gotta
But-
have suspension of disbelief to an extent to
Yeah.
watch movies like this.
yeah, like
He had plot armor.
he should have.
Yeah.
No, he should have definitely been shot in the other movies. In that specific.
Yeah, no, in that specific scene, I'm behind it. I did have a problem with Black Widow not getting shot, but with the Captain America, I was fine with it because he took them all out silently, whereas she was loud with it.
The only thing I remember with her is jumping from like the top thing and just shooting everyone. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Like she was just jumping down a bunch of floors, shooting people. I don't think when I'm on a staircase, some guy's just gonna jump down and shoot me. I don't think I would have the reaction time to shoot them back while they have a gun. I don't think they saw it coming. That's my reasoning for it. Like it's such a tight space. Should she have been shot by the Winter Soldier when being attacked? Probably. But in that first scene, I think it was a stealth mission, so I disagree.
And that is the last note I had. So unless you guys have any trivia or anything else to add.
I don't. Also, you have to mention if you're keeping the same score or not, because I think you said you changed your scores after the discussion.
Well, if I feel it's warranted, none of
Okay.
these three haven't felt warranted. Winter Soldier is still an excellent movie, but it still has some of those flaws. Dark World is still garbage, but it has one redeeming quality, and then I still like Iron Man 3 for the reasons I did.